As far as he is concerned in race 2, the fight is with Danish, who's now 4.2 seconds up the road.
Well, the problem for Ezra on the number 21 machine is that any time he's got to the front of this group, it's been the likes of Mikolas on the number 12 machine launching a move down the inside.
So we watch this group for third position, and Thompson comes back through on Ezra, and Nicholas is the next rider to have a go on the number 12 bike. Adaki making good progress now at this stage of the race. I did tell you to watch out for Adaki trying to fight his way through from the fourth row of the grid. He's now up from 10th position and into 6th. And for anyone in this group, if they hook it up, if they stay in the slipstream, if they make their passes cleanly, really any rider at this stage at very least, with 5.5 laps still to go, could take a place on the podium here this afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. You can see it is starting to stretch out now with those 4 riders, and that's where, especially for Nicholas and Adaki, they've got to make sure that they're able to stay with Thompson and Ezra.
Yes, the 4 of them that had broken away previously, starting to break away again now, and they will hope that this is going to turn into a battle among themselves. But Adaki is the one who's made the most progress, because he splits himself away from Wakamatsu and Rizwanto behind, and is now right on the tail of Nicholas and ready to have a go, you fancy, for 5th position as they make their way now into the final sector on lap 11 of 16.
You can see for Carlo Thompson just looking nice and comfortable there at the front of the field. He's shown it all the way through this weekend and in both races that he wants to be in the lead positions in these groups. He wants to be the one dictating the pace.
Yes, third position for him in the Thai Grand Prix race 2. He was the race 1 winner in the Malaysian Grand Prix, and 2nd position here yesterday for Carter Thompson. So he knows about getting up onto the podium, and he too is hoping to make progress. He is 5th in the championship. Fair margin though for him to the riders in front. So probably 5th that he will end this 2022 campaign. New personal best lap last time around from VEDA EGA Pratama. Don't think he's going to break away from Hakim Danish too easily. Still only 1.5 tenths of a second between the two of them. This is where the closest action is, and the most position changes as well. Once again goes to the podium battle.
Yeah, once again, as we've seen so many times past the ATC, whenever you're battling, you're costing each other time. 9 tenths of a second they lost the race leaders last time around, so 6 seconds at hand for Hakim Danish. He just needs to cruise to the final quarter of this race, and no need to latch onto the back of Pratama and try and win the championship with a race victory.
But when you look further back, third position down, 1/10 of a second, 1/10 of a second, 1/10 of a second, 1/10 of a second. The gap between each of the riders from third place is down to 8th. Then it's Wakamatsu and Gunmie. So still those places at very least can easily change. 2 seconds from 3rd to 13th, as it was just a few short laps ago. As far as the championship is concerned, well, Shinya Ezwa in 4th position, Hakim Danish in 2nd. So it would be a more flattering lead than certainly it's looked since the race 1 retirement for Danish. Remember, he crashed out of race 1 in Sepang from the lead. So it could have been even more of a points lead, or the championship could even have been settled up by now. But Danish still looking good to claim it on the final day of the campaign.
Yeah, Danish has been very impressive all the way through the season, whether it's in the ATC or the ETC, and he's been able to pick up a couple of podiums in Europe as well in the junior GP paddock. So this has been a very complete season for him across the board, but now he just needs to make sure he can complete the race and get to claim this ATC title.
He has managed to lead the championship all the way since March, has Hakim Danish. Despite that retirement from race 1 in Sepang, he extended his lead over the 2 most recent races. And Danish, who, as I say, first led the championship back in March, is looking good to claim it here this afternoon as well. They're 3 abreast now, back in towards turn number 1 for 3rd position, and Adaki back into that 3rd spot. He was a race winner towards the start of this season, was Amon Adaki, race 2 winner in the Qatar Grand Prix the first weekend of March. Just hasn't quite been able to sustain his challenge since then. A couple of non-scores that have proven too costly.
Yeah, that's been the big thing. It's about consistency in the ATC to be able to come away with a title. Hakim Danish being able to do that with a lot of race wins, 4 race wins, and an extra couple of podiums as well. So that's why he's been so consistent all the way through. But you have to say, for his championship rival Ezwa, it's been impressive to see him up inside the top 6 positions in every race as well. He's always been in that leading group, and it's just not going to quite come together for him here today.
It's going to be good that we've had 5 different winners from the 6 rounds in 2022. We've had a good variety of riders up on the podium as well. Perhaps as you'd expect in these youth classes, one weekend to another, the pecking order can rather change. But there's been little doubt about the man who's been dominant this weekend in Indonesia, and that's VEDA EGA Pratama, and he is still your race leader.
And that's why he's going to be a rider worth keeping an eye on for the next few years. Obviously, the minimum age limits have been rising in recent years for different classes of bikes, so he's going to be on Talent Cup bikes for the next while, but certainly you wouldn't be too surprised to see him racing in Europe as well next season, and see what he's able to fare over there.
Daki, Mie, Thompson and Ezawa in that order. It is Gunmie now trying to make progress as they come through turn 16. Mie managed to jab it down the inside of fellow countryman Daki to come through for third place. Daki then relegated down to fifth. Carter Thompson now has slotted through as well. Daki will recover as they come back towards turn number 1. Lap 14, so 3 now to go. The countdown really begins for Hakim Danish. He is half a second now down on VEDA Pratama. Does rather look, for the moment at least, as though he's settling in for second in the championship.
Yeah, half a second behind, but 9 seconds in hand over his championship rival, so certainly no reason to be pushing too hard now in the closing stages. Just enjoy the last 3 laps.
I said it at the top of the programme, the calculations were as complicated or as straightforward as you wanted to make them, but for Hakim Danish, a top 2 finish was going to be enough, even if it was his title rival, or even if it were his title rival, Shinya Ezawa, in front of him at the flag. And as the case is, it's VEDA Pratama. The other simple calculation for Hakim Danish was beat Ezawa and you're the champion. So at the moment, he's doing the top 2 that he needs, he's beating the man that he needs to, and this looks comfortably good enough as the rest of the field will scrap intensely now for third position. And look at that big group still with only 3 laps to go.
Yeah, and all the scrapping's causing this pace to drop off down into 1 minute 45, so about 2 seconds a lap slower than they can be, just because you're battling like this, fighting with each other, shooting down, trying to get to the front of the group. But with 2 laps to go when they come across the line, that's what you got to do. You're fighting for a podium in the ATC.
Well, that's it. The reality is, for most of those riders, they don't really care about the championship standings. They don't care who's champion of the Asian Talent Cup. They're just thinking about whether they can get third position this afternoon and walk away with their head held high in the final race of the 2022 season. Shinya Ezawa will desperately try to break away, but as far as the championship is concerned, it's only a mistake now from Hakim Danish that could change things at the head of the field. Lap 14 and a new fastest lap of the race from VEDA Pratama, 1 minute 42.765. He's gapped Hakim Danish now by over a second, 1.4 seconds last time over the line with 2 to go. So Danish is now settling in for second place. But the gap to this fight, Daki, Thompson and Ezawa lunging into turn 1. The result of that is that they're 10 seconds still behind Danish.
Yeah, Gunmie was the rider that was the odd one out in the run through turn 1. He was the one that got pushed out wide there, so he moves from the front of this group all the way to the back.
And that, I'm afraid, is bad news around this circuit, because if you are pushed offline, you don't just lose 1 position. The grip levels are far higher on that rubbered-in racing line. It's one of the most dramatic racing lines that you'll see. It's almost like a flat track groove at this stage. The riders have got to stick on it, otherwise they're going to lose time massively. Pratama then escaping away, 1.8 seconds ahead of Danish at the head of the field. Danish has used Pratama for what he needed him for, which was to get clear of this battle for third position. Much as Ezawa may go on to claim third place, that will not be enough. He needed to beat Hakim Danish here to claim the Asian Talent Cup for 2022.
Yeah, as it is, though, he wants to end the season with that podium as well, and for all the other riders in this group, especially on the number 6 machine, he's been very strong the second half of the year. He also wants that final race podium, but there's a few riders in that group as well chasing their first podiums this season.
Thompson in the mix as well, and just eyeing up an opportunity to get through here on Shinya Ezawa. Watch for Daki, who's been able to repeatedly come through to the front of this group. Just over a lap now to go.
Watch for the number 19, Hafi, as well, because he's been the rider that's slowly and surely picked off one after the other to get himself up into 6th position, and it looks like he's maybe picked up another spot as well there from the timing tower on the left-hand side of the screen.
Yes, Farish Hafi, who had the best results thus far. This is his debut Asian Talent Cup season of 6th position. That was race 1 of round 1, all the way back in March for 6th position. Then Hafi, I should say, he's up in 5th position and scrapping with Ezawa, and has actually got through by the looks of things for 4th position. We saw them there picked up, making their way through the first sector. Pratama now has a 3-second lead, so this is the kind of dominant pace we've seen for him. Quite happy to run his own race on his own at the front of the field. He's led more laps than anyone else in the Asian Talent Cup in 2022, and he's adding some more here this afternoon.
Yeah, very impressive campaign for Pratama, but it's all about this scrap now for the final step of the podium, and certainly for the likes of Carter Thompson, he's always wanted to be at the top of that group through the course of this race, but is that the place you want to be now with a half lap to go?
Hakim Danish, who has been the dominant force in this championship. He's had more wins, he's had more podiums than anyone else this season. He has been the man to beat. He's not not this weekend. That's VEDA Pratama who's going to do the double, but Hakim Danish, 3.8 seconds now behind the race leader, has got far too much in hand for Ezra to even dream of making it up. It's over 10 seconds, that gap to third position. Pratama, your race leader. Gunmi is still down in 8th place, so he still has the opportunity to make up those extra positions and the extra 6 points to claim third overall. But it is going to be VEDA Pratama who exits the final turn to make it back-to-back victories and dominates his home round, the Indonesian round, the last of the season. And Hakim Danish crosses the line in the second place that he needs in the final race of the season. It's gone down to the wire, but your 2022 Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup winner is Hakim Danish.